So we're going to make this beautiful blue cross pendant today. It's so cute. It's about 1.5 inches long by 1 inch. And we're going to do it with an option of just this cross by itself, or I'm going to do a second video and add the scarf. So if you like the scarf, I'm going to put that in a second video. Today we're just going to do this blue cross. Turned out pretty cute with some colored wire. You can just go with copper if you like, copper on copper. And I'm actually out of town, so I can't oxidize this and show you what it looks like, but as you can see with this one, once you oxidize it, the tarnish resistant won't be affected, the blue part, but the background will turn dark, so it'll kind of pop. It'll kind of look like wood, you know, or you can just leave it unoxidized, but it will change over time, but the blue will stay blue. Just clean it with the cloth. So let's make it. So to make this cross pendant, you're going to need 2 lengths of wire cut at 11 inches, and that is the 20 gauge square wire. You're going to need 28 gauge wire, 4 cut at 7 inches and 4 cut at 6 inches. You're going to need a little crystal or bead, flat back or pointed back. This one is 5 millimeters. I've used 8. Either one would work fine. And you're going to need half round. This is 22 gauge half round wire. You're going to need needle nose, flat nose, cutters, nylon pliers. And if you want to do the shawl around the cross, you could just do the cross or the one with the little scarf around it. This one has a little scarf around it. And this one's been oxidized, and this has the 8 millimeter crystal. And then one with just without the scarf. This one's got the little 5. Either one will work good. This one hasn't been oxidized yet, but let's make it. But if you want to do the one with the scarf, you're going to need an additional 3 wires cut at 8 inches, and then some extra weaving wire to make the scarf. But that is optional. You can do just the cross. So let's make it. So to start, we're going to grab one of the long wires and I'm going to grab it right in the middle at 5.5 inches. We're going to fold that in half. Oh, that worked out good. Okay, and this is going to be the center one, so we're going to pinch this one pretty tight. Try to keep the flat side up. Nice and snug little point like that. And make it straight. The second one, we're just going to bend it right around that, so we're going to grab that one at 5.5 inches as well. This one we're not going to do this sharp point, so I'm going to use the needle nose pliers, make kind of a rounded, because we're going to go around that other one. So it doesn't need to be as a sharp point. So something like that. And this one's going to go in the center, like so. And then we're going to tighten that up. But first we're just going to put like a little keeper around this. I just use a piece of the half round flat wire. Try to find the flat side. And just wrap it like 3 times. This keeps the wires nice and tight. Cut them up. Oops. And make it nice and flat. Right. So you got a little keeper on there. Cut it off on the back about 4 times around. Seems to be pretty good. And then flatten it down nice and good. Make sure it stays down there like that. And then if you want, you can kind of just tighten up the bottom a little bit. Make it nice and snug. And then we're going to come up exactly 1 inch. And then slide that little keeper down to just below the inch line. So you got a nice little spot right there. That way you don't have to worry about where you're bending it. Then just peel these out. do the middle. Try to get a 90 on there. Keeping the flat side up. Alright. So on these ones we're going to come out a 1/2 inch. So I just match up the line. So the cross is going to end at a 1/2 inch, but we're actually going to come out a little longer so we have a little room to play. And we're going to cut that off later. Just seems to work better this way. So what I do, since it's going to end at a 1/2 inch, go to about, let's see, 3/4. Shoot, you could even just go a full inch. Just go a full inch. Let's grab that top one at 1 inch, because we are going to cut this off, and then bend that up. Nice edge on that. All the way back around, and make this one kind of tight. Like that. So do 1 inch out, and like I said, we're going to cut that. And then bend it back up. Just line it up with the center right there. Like that. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just grab a little there. Separate these a little bit. Where they're sticking together. So just this one. Bend that one up. Like that. And then these ones are just going to go up and around and over. And just go parallel with it again. Like that. And then I'm going to bend this one up. So it fits right in there. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to snug that up a little bit better. Just match the other side. Okay, so I did the other side, matched it, and then I put little keepers on there to keep it nice and secure. And then you'll remove these later, but then you can just slide them out of the way too as you work. It just keeps it nice and snugged up. So now we're gonna actually we're gonna start wrapping the base and then adding the color. So you're gonna grab your 1/2 round, and you're gonna put it through that little spot, that little hole at the bottom. Give yourself a little tail, because you want to wrap it like maybe 3 times. Try to get the flat side down. It's always fun. It looks like the round side. just put it through there once too. That'd probably hold it. Slide it all the way down. Put once around the back and then back to the front. And this is when we're going to add the color. You're going to grab the ones that are 7 inches long and fold them in half. And this is pretty even just with copper weaving wire. It doesn't have to be a color. I've done a lot with just the copper and it still is really pretty. That's all bejangled. Perfect. Alright, so you're just going to put one on at a time, or all 4 if you got them all organized. Slide that one over. Do that with all 4. And if you want a smaller design, you could just do 3. Figured why not? I'm just going to try to make it as fat as possible. Alright. Oops, that one wasn't even on there. Just tiny wires. So this is kind of tricky, but you want to get them all on there in the front. Once we wrap it, we can pull it a little tighter. You know, we just kind of want them pinched on there good. Something to hold it. We're going to go around the back again. Keep the weave as tight into the bottom as you can. I'm going to go around it once. And this is when we'll try to straighten them out a bit. Get them lined up nice and centered. And this color is so pretty. It looks like it's lit. I think this was like peacock blue, 28 gauge. Got it at Amazon. Okay. So when you get that as best you can, it takes a little practice. It's not perfect. So what you want to do, this is going to be the point at the bottom. So you're going to lay them flat. And you're going to just take your fingernail and you're just going to grab the center two. So move everything off to this side. Do one at a time if you have to. Lift up the center two. The remaining ones, keep them flat. You're going to go around the back. And you're going to wrap twice. Keep everything down to the point as close as you can. So there's one. Two. And push the wires down. And then you're going to grab the next two center ones. These two out of the way. Make sure that the farthest ones out. You don't want them overlapping. If they overlap, design won't look as flat. Just take your time. Make sure you got the right ones. And then lift those up. I feel like that's not the right one. And then kind of pull down on them too so they stay lined up at the top. So lift those two. And then you're going to wrap again twice. Push the wires down. Grab the two inside wires and lift up on them. We're going to do 3 times this on this one. That's 3. And lift up the bottom 2 wires. It's a lovely mess, huh? It'll look cool though, I promise. And then wrap. We're gonna just take this all the way. So let's do 4 or 5. Yeah, let's just keep going all the way, almost to the base. And we're gonna remove this little keeper because it's gonna get in the way here pretty quick. So I'm gonna remove that. I'll be right back. Alright, I moved the little keeper and I wrapped all the way down almost to the base. And you want to get like within 2 or 3 wraps from the base right there, because we want the color to go up as far as possible. So what I'm going to do now is you take these 2 bottom ones and fold them down. And then take the next 2 up and you're going to go lay those down right inside that wire. Just inside it. And then the next 2 just inside. And then the last 2. And then just take your finger and then slowly just make sure that they're lined up nice and smooth. Give them a little tug too so that this bottom part's nice and tidy. And once you got them where you like them, nice and flat, gonna go around the back. Over the top. Make sure they look nice and good. And then grab your nylon pliers and just kind of start at the bottom. Make sure that they are all lined up. This is just a nice way to test, make sure they're flat. It's looking pretty good. Make sure the back looks, the lines are all nice because you can push them down too. And then give your little blue wires a tug, make sure they're nice taut, because you don't want anything getting under there. And pull the wire tight. I go over it again, second time, even a third time if you got the room. Alright, ta-da! So that looks really good. Alright, so we're going to leave a tail on this 28 gauge because we're going to secure the stone in the center and then we're going to wrap one arm. So I'm going to cut mine at about 10 inches. Might be just a little too much, but I always use the scraps for those little keepers so it doesn't get wasted. Alright, so on these blue wires, you're going to divide them right in half. Four going this way. Four going the other way. That looks like 5. Make sure you got the right ones. No overlap. And just keep your finger right there in the center and move them off the side like that. Same on this side. So it looks like that. Alright, now we're going to attach the top wire. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to do the top. So you're going to slide this keeper up out of the way, but leave it on there, just keep it together. And then we're going to go about a ½ inch above the center there. Whatever height you like. I think ½ inch is pretty good. That's going to be about the top of the bale. So I'm going to grab my needle nose, and you know it's kind of tricky because they're not all the same roundness. I'm going to bend this back. Better if it doesn't focus. It would be easier if you could only do one wire at a time, but that just doesn't seem like. I'm just going to work it this way. So bring it forward a bit, because this is going to be that holds the bale. So we're just going to put a nice little round top on it, and then I'm going to go to the back side and do the same thing. Keep it centered. Put a nice little, we're going for like a round hook here. Flip it around. Maybe if you flip it around, do it again, push down on it. See, it kind of looks a little uneven. Kind of fiddle with it till you get it. Don't make it too small. You want the chain to be able to go through there. Did that last time, made it too small. Had to undo the loop. It looks pretty good. See, I want about a ½ inch. I might have did that a little too big. Just a hair too big. because these sides are going to be a 1/2 inch too. Just keep filling with it to get where you like it. Nice little loop. So you could slide this keeper up if you. We'll cut this little excess off back here too, because it's going to stop right about there. Once we wrap it, should be tighten it up better. Okay, so grab your 1/2 round again. Okay, so you got your 1/2 round. You're going to put it through the loop. Give yourself a little tail so you can wrap it around like 3 times or twice even. Kind of snug up those wires together. Nice and taut. And then you're going to come around the back to the front. And then we're going to add those colored wires. So you're going to take the 4 wires, I think they're at 6 inches. And I'm going to fold them in 1/2. Slip them over this wire. So get them side by side. Push them down best you can. Now you could always cut 8 pieces and then go all the way, just go out and then wrap them like you did here. But this is keeps them secure, I think, better. But if you get it tight enough, I bet you could just wrap over the top of them and it would hold them down. So go around the back. Nice and taut. And get over the top of these wires. Once we're over the top, we'll straighten out a little better. Like that. Center them up the best you can, lay them flat. Give it a little smush. And pull them tight again and slide it back up. Keep them up there as high as you can get them. We don't have as much room to work with up here, so the design is gonna, I think we'll just do one wrap per, see, is that wire? Ta-da! So you just find the wire that's loose and pull it down. So lay them flat. We're going to do the same thing. Slide it up as high as you can get it. And then we're just going to take the center two. So using your fingernails, just move side ones out of the way. gonna pause it for a second. Okay, got the center 2 up and then 3 on each side moved out of the way. And then we're just gonna wrap around that once. And then you're going to grab the next center 2, move those up, and then wrap around again just once. Keep your wires up as high as you can, nice and snugged once. And then grab the next center 2. Then wrap again once. Push those wires up. Grab the next 2. Once you get this kind of under control, then it gets easier as you go. I think that's the 2 hardest parts, is the start. And then see, we're close to the base, so we're going to get as close as we can, saving a couple wraps to pin it down. So I think at least 3, 4 maybe. 1. 2. I think I can get another one. Even if it's just one that holds it down, because the wires go out the sides, so it's not like they're just going to be loose under there. Okay, so we're pretty close to the base. See how these 2 wires are a little, well, that doesn't really matter, but if you really want, you can just take these 2 and just kind of pinch them together. Okay, so you start with the bottom 2. Lay those down. And grab the next 2 up. Lay them just inside. Lay them down flat. Then do the next ones. Just inside. And then the last 2. Then take your finger and smush it down nice. Now you can go over the top just to kind of hold them down, see where they're at. But you don't want them twisted or overlapping. So push them around with your finger a little bit, center them nice. Give them a nice little tug on the bottom. Ooh, gosh. Focus. And then just a nice gentle press just to make sure they're lined up. Because if they're not, you can unwrap that bottom one, then line them up. Give a nice little tug again. Make sure they're nice and smooth. I think that looks really good. I'm going to go around it one more time. Because it might even end up under this stone, we won't see it, but at least it's got a nice snug wrap on there. And stay in the back here. Okay, and then we can finish this. You can go through the back as many as you like. Just need 2 or 3. It's good. Or if you like the wrap look, you go all the way around. If the hole is big enough for a chain when you're done, because the more you wrap, the more it fills it in. And then just cut that off as close to the inside as you can. Oops, fix that later. Just don't want it out and about. Okay, and then the same thing, you're going to take these 4, divide them in half each side. And then on this tail, cut about 8 inches or so. Okay. Alright, so the bottom wire, we got this far. Okay, so on the back side here, I'm going to slide this little keeper off. Don't need that anymore. And then lift these 4 up just a hair. And we're going to cut these so it ends out of sight, kind of right back in there. So like that a little bit. I think I need new cutters. These ones are not as sharp as they used to be. Okay, so like that. And then if you can get your needle nose under there. Just going to put like a little bend down on it. Like that. Okay, so back to the front. This wire that you finished with on the bottom here. So glad these are all tangled up. Okay, so I straightened out the wires and I put my little gem there in the center. And we're going to start with this wire down at the bottom that you left with down here. I'm going to move this wire up a little up out of the way. Make sure all your blue wires are going along with those outside lines. So we're going to start with a little bead there, and you're going to run the flat side up. You're going to go over the top of it. You can put your thumb down there. You're going to go around the back and the top of this one. Try to keep the flat side up. You're going to come across the top and down this way and up behind the left side. So these will slide up. So that little X is close to the top. Keep it snug. And come across the top and then down on the bottom right hand corner. Around the back. So these will be a center opening when it's done. So around the back nice and snug. And up to the top right hand corner. Down behind the right side. Start getting this little X pattern. And back over the arm. That's going to be the start of this right side pattern. So once you get that, just come around the back, go back down and out of the way there, push that together, and then slide your design around so that the center of the bead is nice and open. a snug pull. Okay, and you can slide this little keeper out to the end, or you could just remove it at this point. So that looks pretty good so far. You're going to slide this as close as you can to your gem. And these blue wires, just going to fold them up to get nice and close. And we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to start with, this is going to be the flat side design. So we're not going to start with a point. So you're going to fold this up and go behind it. One, two, push them down nice and tight. Like that so far. Okay, so we're going to do 4 behind that first set. So that's 3. And then 4. And then lay them all down. And then on this one, you're just going to take the outside 2 on each, just 1 on each side. 1 there. It's so hard to see. Outside 1 there. And that's this. Okay, got it. So lift the center ones up and you're going to leave these 2 down. So you got that, 2 far out ones, and then we're going to wrap that 4 times. Just get it on there once and then you can just pull these wires out so they stay aligned. That's 1, 2. Now if you're going with a fatter gauge, which you can, you're just going to like maybe drop a wrap because you know the fatter it is, the faster you get to the outside. You don't want this design to go too far out. 3, 4. Push them back in there, nice and snug. And you're going to grab the outer 2, make sure they're nice and flat. You can always lay them down to see which ones you need. So the next outer 2. Bring these ones back up. And now lay that down the center. And this time we're just going to go to, oh my gosh, I think I might run out of half round. Oh boy. 1, 2, pull those apart. Grab the next 2. Just wrap twice. Oh, please don't let me. 1, 2. Pull those apart. Lay the center 2 down. And then go around this as many times as you can. Hopefully you cut it longer than I did. Just make Make sure they're all nice and lined up. Oh. So I'm gonna have to add another piece, but that's not the end of the world. I do want at least 4 on there. Guess I should have cut that one longer. Thought that would be plenty. So that's looking pretty. So I'm just gonna leave that for a second, but we're gonna gently push this down, make sure everything's nice and lined up. I'm gently pushing just to make sure that everything's where it should be before I really press down on it. Oh boy. Okay, so we're going to do that to the other side. I don't know if I should film that as well, but we're going to make the other side match. So you're going to do 4, 4, 2, and 2. Okay, so I'm starting the second side. So you come up the top and just go around the bottom here to start. Just going to flip it over, do 4 in the back. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, that's 4. And then we're just going to take the outside ones. Make sure they're nice and flat. Take your time. Lay those 2 down. Do your rest up. One, 2, 4. And grab the next 2. And then you're just going to wrap this one twice. Make sure those are on the inside. It gets a little fidgety, but just put the wire over the top and then straighten it out. Twice over that one. Looks like I cut this side a little short as well. Why? Alright, grab the next 2. And 2, and then the last 2. So pretty when it's done. So when I say cut like 8 inches, cut like 10. Oh my goodness, it drives me nuts. Give them a nice little tug. Remember, you can always unwrap it and make sure that they're lined up. Can't believe I cut that short. I'm gonna pause it for a second. Okay, so I got them all nice and lined up. So we want the design to end about a ½ inch, and I think we did pretty good with just that amount of wraps. So that's about a ½ inch. That's where you want the pattern in. Now I wish I had more of a tail, and I hope that you guys do. So you're just going to take these colored ends and just snip them right close to the edge here. Now this is when it comes in handy to have the extra tail, because you would wrap around this 3 times, which I'm going to have to just go put on the extra. I'm going to cut this side too. Yeah, these are definitely getting dull. So push down these little extra blue wires, both sides. Okay, so on the ends, once you reach the point, you want to wrap it twice to finish it, cut your wires, and then wrap twice over the top of the cut wires to cover those up and secure them down. And give it a nice little pinch. I ran out of wire on this side, but what you want to do is, 4 on this as you end it. So you're going to wrap twice to cover up the ends, snip it, and then wrap it twice, like I did on this side. And then your pattern should come out to approximately ½ inch from the edge. It kind of gives it a nice cross look, like that. And we're just going to pretend that I have those 2 extra wraps on there. I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can add 2 wraps just to be complete. Okay, well I added 2, but I know what's going to happen. As soon as I bend that back, it's going to pull away from it. So it's better to have it in one piece like it is on this side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut off where it meets right there. Just those 4 little ends. Fold like that. And cut off this side. Just gonna tidy them up a bit. So you're going to take your needle nose. Curl them to the back. So that's the cross pendant if you just want to do the cross, which is absolutely stunning. And then too, like if the top is just like a little alley-whack or anything, you can just put these in there and just kind of give it a little touch up, straighten it right up. And you can oxidize it. And what's cool is when you oxidize it, this is tarnished, so this won't change colors. Just don't sand it, or just take a soft cloth and clean it up. But it's pretty because it'll make the copper look like wood once you get it darker. Like I made this one with the scarf around it. But once you oxidize it, the tarnish resistant doesn't get stained, so it makes it look like wood. It's kind of pretty. But that's the finished cross. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the scarf too, but if you don't want the scarf, if you just want this cross pendant, it's done. Which is turned out really pretty. I like the blue. You could do red, just copper, anything. And this is with an 8mm bead, so you can see the difference. But this is a smaller petite size. This one's just a little bit bigger, but it's the exact same design. It has a cross in the back. The back is nice and clean. It looks a little crooked. You can always smoosh it around. Alright, so let's make the scarf if you want the scarf. So we finished the cross pendant. It turned out super cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I am going to do the scarf in a second video just so it's not too long of a video. But it's actually beautiful just by itself. Just with the cross. Tell me what you think. I love your feedback. I appreciate the likes and the subscribes. And I'm looking forward to making more of these. It's a lot of fun. And trying to get a little better at it. Keep them not too long. Alright. Till next time. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day.